Put a 1 in the chat if you've been laid off from a job. It seems like we're seeing this more and more. More companies are laying people off and having AI replace them. It's truly sad. This is a dystopian future that we are headed to, and it's truly scary. Let's get straight off into this.
I got laid off today. After 10 years.
I told you guys I was let go today after 20 years.
Today, I was laid off at Amazon.
And then I went to Amazon and I worked my literal ass off.
I keep getting job offers that are extremely lowered wages due to them knowing people are desperate.
I got laid off in May. It is now the end of October. Look at all these open tabs. The job hunt right now, you guys. If you got a job, just keep it, okay?
Amazon recently announced their largest corporate layoff, cutting 14,000 employees, with executives hoping to eliminate 600,000 workers by 2033. God. When Amazon, the US's second largest employer, starts laying off employees, it gives cover to other CEOs. UPS announced 48,000 layoffs. YouTube is offering its employees voluntary exit packages. Chegg announced it was cutting 45% of its workforce. Target cut roughly 1,800 employees. GM cut roughly 1,700 employees. Jeez. Meta, Rivian, Ford, the list goes on. And this is just for the month of October. It doesn't even cover the layoffs we've been experiencing throughout the year. But there's one layoff I want to highlight. Paramount. If you watched my previous video, I mentioned how David Ellison, son of tech billionaire Larry Ellison, had purchased Paramount, further growing his media empire. Despite this open letter David sent to Paramount employees after taking over the company, claiming, "You are the heart of this company," Paramount cut 1,000 employees, with that number expected to be 2,000 in coming weeks.
God.
If companies like Google and Amazon and Meta are making billions, why are they laying people off?
Oh, that's easy. Greed. These billionaires don't care about it.
Oh, it's 100% greed. At 1,000% it's greed. It's the fact that they want record level profits. And the thing is, these companies want to make more and more money every single year. And so the one big cost that a lot of people have is their employees. And I'll be honest, dude, there's a lot of people, this sounds bad, but there's a lot of people that work in like the tech industry or at bigger companies that their job is really kind of meaningless. Like, how many times have we seen these women like, I'm a mid-level VP of marketing, and like, what do? You put slideshows together, you know? But you know what's crazy is the jobs you don't see people getting laid off: plumbers, electricians, arborists, welders, truckers. You're not seeing layoffs with those. You're seeing layoffs in these BS fluorescent light, sit your butt in a chair behind a computer jobs. That's where you're seeing a lot of people get let go.
That change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. I
thought my forehead was big. Good Lord.
Remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. There's been
his forehead is big enough for a whole other face.
Shots fired! Systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them. It's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment.
What isn't discussed enough is the shadow layoff system. More companies are hiring part-time and contract workers as a means to cut costs. This means for the workers, no retirement plans, no healthcare benefits, and no severance package.
Oh, and they're also hiring people that are overseas. Like, you see people that are in India or Thailand getting paid $3-4 an hour to do the job that they were paying $20 to $25 an hour.
Claims that they're laying off employees in an effort to operate like the world's largest startup. They claim they need to increase their efficiency. Yet in 2024, they generated $638 billion. It seems they're operating at pretty high efficiency. While most headlines are focused on AI, Amazon has been building an army of robots. A leaked internal document shows executives hoping they can eliminate 600,000 roles by using robots. And they know how bad this sounds. That's why also in the document, they discussed replacing words like automation, AI, and robot with the term advanced technology. But here's the dystopian reality. Back in June, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy addressed all the employees about AI and automation. "We have strong conviction that AI agents will change how we work. There will be billions of these agents."
Bro, imagine you have an AI agent at your job and you're cheating on your wife or her. Imagine it's one of these sex dolls. Imagine you show up to Amazon one day, a bunch of people got fired, and you're one of the ones, and all your coworkers are these sex dolls. You're like, "Hey, ladies. How y'all doing? Hey, Rebecca. What's going on, baby girl? You know what it is. Hey, baby, she means nothing to me. Hey, quick question, boss. Does this one have the fleshlight function? Does this one have the..." Imagine it's the sex robot dolls. I just thought about that. Like, you're in an Amazon warehouse and it's one dude bucking 50 different Amazon sex robots. And he's like, "Why are my packages late?" I'm sorry. I don't know why. Why does my head go that way, bro?
We will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today. The key word here is will. He's not saying AI agents are currently good enough to replace human workers. He's saying they will be, maybe in the future.
Probably in 2025, we at Meta, as well as the other companies that are basically working on this, are going to have an AI that can effectively be a sort of mid-level engineer that you have at your company that can write code. And then over time, we'll get to the point where a lot of the code in our apps, and including the AI that we generate, is actually going to be built by AI engineers instead of people engineers.
Again, the key words here.
Dude, and that's scary because, number one, engineers are getting replaced, and software engineers is one of those fields that you have to have a very high level of acumen. You have to be very intelligent. I got one of my best friends, he is a software engineer, and he is terrified of what may happen to his job because they are outsourcing the work more. They're hiring 2 people offshore to do his job and pay them a quarter of what they're paying him, and they will work relentlessly to get things done, as opposed to where he gets paid, let's say $160,000 a year. They can pay 2 people $80,000 a year at $40,000 a pop, and so they're paying half and getting double. Like, it's crazy to me what's happening. That's why I say, bro, like, don't take your job for granted and think you're irreplaceable. Everyone is replaceable. Every single one of us is replaceable. AI channels on YouTube are replacing people. It's just, thank goodness there's people that still want to just connect with humans. And that's why YouTubers like me can still have a place to work. But, there's so many people that when it comes to the content they want to consume AI. They just want to consume stories. They don't want to connect with a person. That is still a thing. But these jobs, they realize they can get, it's all about production. It's all about ROI, return on investment. So if I was going to hire an AI employee, what are some of the benefits to hiring an AI employee versus an actual person? Number one, the AI employee can work 24/7. They never need time off. They never need sick days. They never need, paternity leave or maternity leave. They never get pregnant. They don't complain. They do what they're told, and they're always available, and they can work constantly. That, to me, way better than having a person there, unless it's a job where you really have to have a person there. What I think is going to happen, and put a 1 in the chat if you agree, what I think is going to happen is what we're going to see in the future. We're going to see a human just managing AI. That's what it's going to be. It's just going to be 1 or 2 people managing a team of AI agents.
Here, I think probably these are just hopes. They're laying off real human workers today despite recognizing that AI cannot do a mid-level engineer's job. But they're hoping one day it can. They're redirecting the money they used to pay real human workers into AI investments. They're betting on a future that hasn't even arrived yet. They could afford both employees and AI, but instead they're laying off workers right before the holidays after record profits while the CEOs get richer from the very act of firing them. Because for these executives, layoffs are a means to cut costs. And who costs the most? Senior employees. A perfect example of this that we saw earlier this year was when Microsoft let go of Ron Buckton. Now, if you're not a developer, you may not know who he is, but Ron spent 18 years at Microsoft. 10 of those years was spent working on TypeScript. TypeScript is used by over 5 million developers. I use TypeScript. The majority of the websites that you interact with use TypeScript. And despite Microsoft having over 245 billion...
type shit. Over 95% of the websites type shit.
You're a liar!
I'm sorry, wrong one. Lucky, you want some jerky, dude? Free. Sit. Shake. Good boy, wait. Free. Loki, you're irreplaceable, buddy. I'll never replace you with AI. Ever. How crazy would it be if Loki was AI, He's just a robot dog. Just a simulation. That'd be wild, bro. That'd be so wild. Nah, he's a good boy.
In revenue for 2024, they still let Ron go. Was Ron suddenly discovered to be a slacker after 18 years of promotions? Or is it that executives looked at a spreadsheet, saw his senior level salary, and decided that number was too big?
So that's typically what it is. When I worked at a company by the name of Yodel, what happened there was they were acquired by Web.com. And when they were acquired, they fired like all the senior level people. So what happens when you do layoffs typically is you keep the peons because they're the ones that are grinding out the grunt work to get the production going. So you keep all the people on the ground level, like the salespeople, you'll keep them. The mid-level managers, you may keep them and just overwork them. But then the upper level management, you're going to get rid of them because number one, they cost a lot. They cost usually a lot, and there's not too many of them. So it's like you're going to fire 5 or 6 people versus firing 50 people that actually do a part of the production. Because like a senior VP is just a manager's manager, and they're really kind of useless.
January and October of 2024, the unemployment rate for recent college graduates was 15.3% in their first year after graduation. This shows recent graduates are staying unemployed for longer and they're applying to roles outside of their degrees just to land their first position. And it's not looking any better in other countries.
There are many graduates now that are coming out of universities, which means that there are more people that are graduating necessarily for the jobs that are there. I saw a rather...
Bro, this dude looks like Wario. This dude looks like a real-life villain.
Shocking statistic in the UK earlier this week that was talking about the fact that last year there were 1.2 million graduates for 17,000 jobs, which starts to give you the idea of just how competitive that market has become. And on top of that, with AI, many of those graduate jobs are changing or are more difficult for people to get into.
Vercel used its best salesperson to train an AI agent, allowing the company to reduce a 10-person team's work down to just one person managing the AI agent. As a developer, I also see this. A lot of companies are now using AI.
Yeah, and so I was in sales, and then the one thing that people always said is like, well, they can't replace salespeople. Bro, if it's a language module, you can teach it. Make it listen to the best salesperson's calls and learn all the rebuttals to the objections and everything, and then you could teach a salesperson. That's why it was always funny to me that they thought like salespeople were irreplaceable. Like, bro, everybody's replaceable. Even the freaking president is replaceable. Stop this cap.
More seniors and retirees are returning to the workforce because they can't afford the cost of living on their retirement funds or their Social Security.
That's heartbreaking.
In fact, according to the Department of Health and Human Services, people aged 50 and older are the fastest growing group of those experiencing homelessness, with that number expected to double by 2030.
Horrible.
This is my tent. There's my kitchen.
Heartbreaking.
Yes. I am out in the woods.
Heartbreaking.
But here's a little secret. I got plenty of privacy.
Because despite paying into Social Security with every paycheck, that money isn't being saved for you. It's being used to pay for current retirees, and it's also not keeping up with the cost of living. The average monthly payment for retirees is $2,002. I'm not currently in the US, but even here in Stockholm, that wouldn't cover my rent. But regardless, the US government is considering increasing the retirement age to 69, despite many workers claiming that employers are deeming them too experienced, a nice way for these companies to say that they don't want to hire you after 40. And actually, Workday, that horrible job application software, they're being sued with applicants alleging the company's AI disqualified them because they were over 40.
So I made a post about over a month ago talking about how I was laid off at 50, being at the peak of my career, and thousands of you replied saying you're going through the same thing. They say you're too overqualified. Again, you're not going to be happy here. I even had someone make a comment saying that they went to Trader Joe's to try to get a job and they were denied because they are overqualified.
It's 2025, and the new reality is that people in their mid-50s, late 50s are the new unemployables. It's almost impossible to land another job at your current level. You can almost kiss it goodbye. They can say ageism is illegal all they want. They can make believe that it's kumbaya and we love everybody and we're all equal. And no, it doesn't work like that.
If that's the case, how exactly are we supposed to work until we're 70? If these
Right, that's crazy. Working to your 70, chat? Bro, there's no way. I don't want to work that long. That's why I say, dude, like, you gotta work your 9 to 5 and then work a 5 to 9. It's just, we live in America. Things are only gonna get more expensive. And instead of focusing on how to save money, focus on how to generate coin. Making money. That's the skill set that we should be teaching people, how to make money, not save it.
More graduates are now switching to trade jobs, meaning that blue-collar workers are now competing against white-collar workers for the same handful of trade jobs. We've seen at least 180,000 government employees let go, and now we see senior FANG employees re-entering the job market after layoffs.
I'm a recent college grad looking for a job, and today I learned that not only are we competing with all of the people last year who couldn't get jobs, we are also competing with people who are currently working in entry-level jobs and looking to switch companies because their companies aren't promoting them because the market is so bad. A recruiter I just got off the phone with told me that I'm going up against someone who has 2 years of postgraduate full-time work experience, and I just don't know how I'm supposed to compete with that.
So let me get this straight. We have retirees, new graduates, blue-collar and white-collar, government employees, senior FANG employees, all fighting over a dwindling number of jobs. And
So here's what I did when I was younger. As soon as I got out of college, I was 24 years old. Yes, that took me a long time. I probably should have had 2 degrees by the time I graduated college at 24. At least that's what my main professor said. Anyways, I was 24. I got into the workplace. I thought I was going to be a music teacher. I got my degree in music education. Yes, chat, your boy was going to be a drum teacher. I was going to teach percussion, but I found out you didn't make any money with that. So I decided to switch careers. What I did, I went and got a job at a company by the name of Yodel. I started cold calling. I was a telemarketer. Hey, do you want this stuff? Hey, do you want to buy this? That's what I did. I actually made a lot of money. I made my first 6 figures on the phone. I love the phones to this day. Talking has made me more money than anything else. That's what this YouTube stuff is. So Shubba and I should have bought a Honda. Bless the good Lord for allowing me to move these lips and flap these gums. Anyways, 24 years old, got an entry-level sales job, grinded it out for probably 2 years straight. I was making 180 to 250 calls per day, working as hard as I could. Made my first 6 figures, bought my first car, got my first apartment, and then from there I jumped to another sales job. Then I took about a year hiatus to play music professionally, didn't make really any money, and then I basically job hopped every 2 to 3 years to a new company. Worked at Realtor.com for a bit, worked at another smaller company for a bit, and then just kind of job hopped and kind of moved up the ladder until I got to the point where I was making about $130,000 a year, base level pay, and that was the most cush gig I had. This was an Australian company. They were flying me all around the country. You know, I was going to conventions. They flew me to Vegas. They let me in Casco. It was amazing. They flew me to Australia for a week. It was amazing. I loved it. But then I quit that cush job to do YouTube full time because I love you guys. You guys have changed my life. Like, you really got to put that in perspective, at least. And I'll go back to the point I'm making, but like, I was working a full-time job making $130K a year plus commissions. So whatever I sold, I got like 10% of, which these packages were $20,000 to $120,000 bare minimum. So I was making good money, dude. I was making 150, 160K, living comfortably, 8 to 10 grand a month easy, you know, after taxes. I was doing this YouTube stuff though. So I was working my 9 to 5, and from 5 to 9, I was recording YouTube videos. The YouTube started doing so well that when I was at work, I was sitting there thinking, I'm wasting my time. This is a complete waste of time to be sitting here behind this screen in a Zoom meeting when I could be recording a video for my community to watch. And I'll never forget this, chat. I think it was, I remember the moment, but I don't remember when it was. I think this was about a year ago, around this time, maybe in November. I started doing really well on YouTube. And I had a meeting with I scheduled a meeting with my CEO at the company I was working at. And I was like, hey man, I hate to say this, but today's my last day. I'm quitting effective immediately. And he's like, why? It's like, bro, my YouTube is doing really well. I'm making more on YouTube than I'm making at this company. And I have a much better work-life balance. I can work when I want to work. I don't have to come show up to meetings. I don't have to travel without my wife. And I've actually retired my wife, so I'm done. And he was heartbroken. I felt bad because I told him I was going to stay there for 3 to 5 years, but I just started making so much money that it didn't make sense to sit there and work a job and make pennies and then do YouTube on the side. I was like, bro, I'm just going to have my time. I'll work when I want to work and have the autonomy. But going back to what my original point was, don't ever feel like it's too late to start over, bro. Think about this. I got out of college after 6 years thinking I was going to be a music teacher. I had practiced and went to school for 6 years thinking I'm going to teach music. I taught music for 6 months and was like, I'm not doing this no more, and started over completely. And I remember when I did it, the people that I went to college with are like, Levi, you're crazy. How could you just give up everything you've been practicing and learning for the last 6 years and just go into a new field? I was like, bro, I want more money. I'm sick of working 60-hour weeks and making 35, 40K a year. That's not what I want, bro. I want to be around adults. I want to have fun. I want to go out with my coworkers after work and kick it with them. I don't want to hang out with band directors. I mean, no offense if you're a band director, but there's not a lot of really cool band directors out there. There's a reason there's a stereotype of band directors being nerdy. They're nerdy. It is what it is. And I can say that proudly because I know a lot of them. And it's just, it was an industry I didn't want to be in. I wanted to be around adults. I wanted to be able to go get beers on Wednesdays or Fridays. And the company I worked at the time, they would serve beer and wine on Fridays. So on Fridays, they would serve beer and wine, have a keg, a bunch of wine. We go get a little sauced on Fridays. Then we go out and have fun on the weekend. So you're not doing that if you're working at a freaking school. That was a long tangent. I apologize, chat.
And at the same time that everyone's trying to find a job, inflation is out of control. The cost of living the past 5 years just keeps increasing.
I want to see if anybody else is experiencing this. So last year, my homeowner's insurance for the year was $3,018. Year before that, it was $2,600. Year before that, $2,200. Year before that, $2,100. I've owned this house for 4 years. This year, my homeowner's insurance is over $6,000. No claims in the last 4 years. I've never had a claim against the house I'm living in now. God. But my insurance just doubled. homeowners insurance doubled year over year with no claims.
Yet wages aren't keeping up with the cost of living, despite us seeing both Apple and Microsoft hit a $4 trillion valuation. And meanwhile, our representatives are telling us that inflation is only 3%, yet they're not explaining the bigger picture. Inflation may be 3% this year, but what was it last year and the year before?
Yeah.
They're not adding on all the prior years, because the reality is inflation rarely decreases. And in fact, it benefits the governments to have inflation because it means they owe less debt. And about that inflation, a lot of it is artificially created. Tyson and other corporations conspired to create an artificial pork shortage so that they could increase the prices of pork from 2009 to 2018. When they were caught, they paid just $85 million. That's nothing compared to the $20 billion pork industry. In earnings calls, the CEO has bragged about passing on inflation to consumers. Keep in mind, the same CEO that was caught creating artificial inflation.
Like many other companies, we were faced with a range of higher levels of inflation. Our teams have worked together with our customers to pass along that inflation through price increases.
We will remain disciplined and agile in our pricing initiatives to ensure that any additional inflationary pressures are passed along to customers.
We'd like to think that we have relationships with customers that allow us to be able to take to them inflation that we see in the marketplace and be able to pass that on ultimately to the consumer.
This is what genuinely terrifies me, as unemployment keeps rising and millions of us are fighting over
I
fewer.
don't know about you guys, but seeing this stuff just makes me want to go start a farm and do my own thing and have an acre of land and do this. Like this makes me not want to buy anything from a grocery store ever again.
Uber pioneered this. Their AI was able to identify which drivers would accept a $3 ride because they're behind on their bills. DoorDash also uses it. CareRev uses it for healthcare workers.
I have been struggling to pay all my bills on time. When I first moved into this apartment 5 years ago, that wasn't an issue at all. I feel ashamed sometimes as a man or as a person that I can't come up with the bills. It's frustrating. I Uber every day. Right now it's Wednesday. I drove around from 7 till 11 and made $20.
What is stopping Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, or any other company?
I don't know about you guys, but I've done Uber, I've done Lyft, and it's a tough grind, man. It's not easy.
Because the reality is Amazon laid off 14,000 workers, yet they're still hiring for engineering, sales, and management. Microsoft laid off over 15,000 this year. They're hiring. Intel laid off roughly 22,000 this year, yet they're still hiring.
See, I think that's a whole bunch of hogwash. Like, the reason they're putting up those job listings is to seem like the company's growing and to seem like they're productive. That's why they're doing that. They're not doing that because they're actually looking for people. In my opinion, I think they do that for a multitude of reasons. Number one, they want other companies to think they're growing. So Intel wants Microsoft and wants Apple and wants Google to all think that they're crushing it and growing and they're hiring more people. Number two, they're data mining. So they want you to enter in your information so they can sell your data to other companies or to other advertisement companies. And those are the two big ones, in my opinion. Like, they're data mining and they just want to look good.
They increasingly give us worse salaries, while Andy Jassy, CEO of Amazon, made $40 million in 2024. His compensation is directly tied to Amazon's stock price. The day Amazon announced 14,000 layoffs, Amazon stock jumped 13%. The day UPS announced 48,000 layoffs, their stock price jumped almost 13% as well. Wall Street literally rewards human suffering. And some of you may own Amazon stock, because actually stock ownership in the US is at a record high. 62% of Americans own stock. But when we dig deeper, we see that the top 10% own 93% of all stocks. They want us to believe that this is about the future and innovation when they're literally just giving us a solution to a problem that they created. They're laying off real human workers today, investing that money into their dream of AI replacing all of us in the future.
Wow, that's crazy. Shout out to this Vanessa Wingard. Shout out to her. I saw this video and was like, man, I need to react to this. This is wild work. This is absolutely insane. The fact that this is what we're going through right now. Like, the people that people can't find jobs. To me, that's awful. I think people should be able to work, man. But this should be a complete wake-up call, though. You know, like, this should be a big wake-up call. Bro, why is she built like Dr. Robotnik? Shots fired! What is that? All these bad habits. Good Lord. Jesus. Looked like she bit the boom out of a bomb. There's no way that's the same person. Good on her, but there is no way that's the same person. Bro, what? She really did that. Shout out to her doctor, dog. But nah, she looked like Dr. Robotnik, no cap. Good Lord. But hey, good for her. Good for her. That before was pretty brutal, though. I'm not even going to cap to you. Here's another one. Goodness.
Big back.
You're fat. It's literally not the clothes. But then why am I skinny? You're not. You look like you're wearing a bed sheet.
Shots fired!
I could hear your footsteps through the screen. Goodness gracious, brother. Oof. I don't know how I got on that. What is this? Okay, this is... I don't watch a lot of his content, Jeffree Star, but I think he hit the nail on the head on this.
Nowadays, we have grown men with beards wearing dresses going into the women's restroom. When I was younger, any normal person that felt like they were born in the wrong body was trying to be passable, and they were really wanting to live their life as a woman. And if you really think psychologically you were born in the wrong body, unfortunately, it's like a mental illness. But people hear illness and they just have a full spiral. So this new age of weirdos and predators trying to pretend they're trans or pretend they're this and harm women and children, that's my issue. So there is this piece of shit named Lily Tino who is pretending to be trans and recently went into the women's restroom at Disneyland. Disneyland's for children. Yes, there's adults that like Disney. We know that. And the camera's rolling. I'm sorry, there's a 7-year-old that just walked behind you. Why the fuck are you in a little training bra and lipstick, clearly with a man's voice, in the women's restroom filming? Rage bait, attention, these things did not exist 10 years ago. So people love to misconstrue what I said, and that's really what I meant. And I think that we should be protecting women and children at all costs these days with so many...
Dude, I agree. Hey, shout out to Jeffree Star on that one. I don't really watch Jeffree Star's content. I don't know really, but I saw that and I was like, shout out. Bro, are you... Oh my... Chad, I saw this and was like, are we really doing this? Is this really the future of flying here? What is going on? Standing? You guys flying on that? Standing area? What is that? But let me ask you guys, chat. Would you do this if your plane ticket was half the price? You standing? Say your ticket instead of $150, $75. You doing the standing room only? They could fit more people on the plane. You could pay less, especially if it was maybe an hour flight. I mean, this wouldn't be bad. Standing for an hour is not too bad, right? As long as you can kind of lean back maybe a little bit, rest your kneecap. I don't know. I saw that and was like, bro, where are we headed? Where are we headed? Girl math versus boy math.
And then the men are going to throw an attack on the girls for some girl math, and I'm going to decide who wins that round and who has the best math. All right, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
You go first. Attack the men with some boy math.
Boy math is thinking 5'10" is basically 6 foot.
Ooh. Jackson, hit the ladies with some girl math, please.
Girl math is being 5 foot nothing and saying that a guy 5'8" is too short.
Hey! That was good.
Yes,
Jackson. Because that was a worthy retort to her height, I'm giving that one to the men.
Okay.
All right.
Go.
Give the men a point. All right, Cassie, lobby some boy math at the men.
Boy math is being afraid of gold diggers when you only have 3 pairs of socks to your name.
Okay, not bad.
All right, Jackson, what you got?
Girl math is detecting a broke guy from a mile away, but not spotting a deadbeat dad until she's had a child with him.
God, Jackson!
You don't need me. That man on fire.
Okay, we're going there.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Another point to the men. The men lead.
All right, I feel like I need to bring the heat with this one, Jackson.
Yes, you do. All right, Abby, hit him with some boy math, please.
Boy math is wanting 0 kids, but also having 0 condoms on hand.
Oh.
Okay.
What do you got, Jackson?
Girl math is going on a trip with 8 friends and coming back with 3.
And then the men.
That was good. I saw that and was like, that's solid, dude. That's solid, man. I like that. Some of these clips are good, chat. I just like watching some of them, you know? Let's see this. This is from the Whatever podcast.
Would you spend $2,000 to buy a boyfriend a bag?
Is he my girlfriend?
Well, that's a double standard then, isn't it? You're being a hypocrite.
Okay. I'm dating a man, not a woman. Okay? I didn't sign up to date a woman. If my man asked me to buy him a bag, then it's over.
So you're just a financial abuser.
Okay, so how many men in your life are asking for a Chanel bag?
Probably not
I want a Chanel bag. Can I have one?
I'd like one.
as many as you. 'Cause it sounds like you talk to a lot of men.
Are you calling me a hoe?
Maybe a little.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of noise.
I mean, you did dump a guy because he didn't buy you a $2,000 purse.
Okay.
That's kind of further street behavior.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
I don't know who that girl is. I love it, though. I love that. That's great. This is crazy. Talking about the cost of living, going back to this is the guy that does these house tours or whatever.
Hi. How much do you pay for rent in New York?
$2,500.
Could I have a tour
$2,500 for rent in New York. That's more than my mortgage.
of your home?
Okay.
Warehouse vibe.
Yeah, this is my room.
The vibes in here are awesome. Super tall ceilings.
It used to be a horse stable. The New York horses were hanging
It used to be a horse stable? Ugh.
out here.
How'd you find this place?
I actually found it on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, I also have like my aerial silk hair. I used to be in the circus. My favorite trick. It's a really good workout.
Can I get up in there?
Yeah.
Really good workout, huh? Used to be in a circus, huh? Getting folded like a pretzel on that, huh? What else are you doing with that? Don't be shy now. Got it hanging from the ceiling, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. She's probably been split like Moses did the Red Sea.
Wonderful.
Oh man, that hurt. It doesn't feel good.
Hi, squirrel. Does this power the whole building or what?
Yeah, I think this is just like the whole joint. My favorite piece is the Sphinx.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Yep. That's kind of cool. This whole room is so rad.
Thank you.
Bro, that room is nasty looking. $2,500 for a horse stable? I'm sorry, chat. Y'all paying $2,500 for that? No way. No windows? Oh, never mind. Okay, she got a kitchen?
I love this gas stove. It's like really fun to use.
Oh, yeah.
So fun.
So you like fire?
Maybe. The living room area.
Whoa. Okay, never mind. This is huge.
So there are artists still living in New York. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's still happening.
Bro, this is massive.
I kind of like this one more. So that's where you hang out, by the barn door.
Yeah, by the barn door.
Whoa. It's a washer from the 50s.
Yeah. And then this is the tub, the famous tub. It's literally perfect. Like I kind of have like a really nice spa moment. I light some Palo Santo, make the bubbles.
This makes you want to take a bath.
Right? Obviously would like love to have my door closed.
Bro, that looks like the bathtub from the movie
it's like super
Saw.
hot and there's no AC in here. So we have to like funnel it in. And I had this curtain.
Bro, okay, never mind. I thought it was just that little room where the horses was pooping, but $2,500, that's not bad for that much space, especially in New York, man. I'm actually kind of surprised.
Nobody talks about the amount of times as a fucking mom.
The truth is, I don't like being a mom.
They make it so hard to be a mom.
I'm a single mother with 5 kids.
Single mom.
Have y'all not noticed that there are so many freaking single moms right now?
You let him hit it raw.
I love Brandon Jamal. Shout out to that young man. Oh my God. Okay, today is hard and I love you. The men aren't gonna like me for this. All right, I'll be the judge of that, Rebecca.
You men are not gonna like me for saying this, but you know
Okay.
what? I don't care. America, I think it's time we form a state where only women can live. No men allowed.
Bro, y'all wouldn't have running water, no electricity, the roads wouldn't be paved. Y'all be living like a third world country.
Estrogen-filled utopia where we can all finally live in peace.
Not like you. Baby girl, if that actually happened, if you and every woman that's like you left to another state where we never had to see you again, be the best day of our lives. You and all your little friends can run along and live in your own little paradise, and all of the women that are actually worth marrying, women of character, women who are noble, women that are worth having a family with and building a society with would be left for us. Absolutely, all for it. Take your possessions and go!
You men are
Yeah, I love that. But when the water goes out and the electricity's not working, don't hit us up. Don't be asking for nothing. Don't be asking for, I don't want y'all to take our plumbers. I don't want y'all to take nothing that we got going on. Don't worry about what we got going on, okay? Oh man, it's crazy work.
Damn.
But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's good to have you guys out, man. Until next time. Peace.